Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. You are welcome to the Mentors Show. You are welcome to the Mentors Show. Tonight is going to be a great night. Tonight is going to be wonderful. We have going to have a wonderful time tonight. I'm your host, Dr. Olushola Ajide, and uh, it's today here in Aberdeen. It's just been raining. It's quite cold. I don't know how the weather is wherever you are watching us from. I hope you are safe. I hope you are well. Now, here is the Mentors Show where we inspire you, where we help you to reinvent yourself. On this mentor show, we help you inspire you to make impact in your community, in your country, and on the continent wherever you are, wherever you live. And tonight we are going to have a wonderful time with our guest who is going to be with us tonight, Mr. Emmanuel Bonoko, an astronomical, wonderful entrepreneur, young person doing great and mighty things on the continent of Africa. So it's going to sure be a great time. Now, don't forget that our aim is to help you to be a better version of yourselves. And in previous times, I've asked this question that if you were asked to welcome proudly Akoko Babe, welcome, thank you, good evening, welcome, welcome. So invite your family and friends, tell them we are live on Facebook at Olushola Ajide. They can share the page. We are live on Twitch at Africa Coaching and Mentorship. We are live on Periscope at Africa Mentorship. We are live on Africa Coaching and Mentorship Initiative YouTube channel. So we are all live. Yeah, good evening. How are you? How are you today? So we are live. Let's invite family and friends to join us on this wonderful time of sharing and learning from one another. So, like I said, I pose this question, and the question is still valid. Imagine a scenario in which you are asked to remain in your house for the next 5 years, and you're not supposed to leave your house for the next 5 years. How are you going to make money? How are you going to make impact? How will you reach and touch to people out with of the building where you are? And that's what this show is all about, is to help you rethink those things you think are limiting you, those limitations, to remove all those limitations, and as it were, and help you to reinvent yourself, help you to become a better version of yourself. That's what this show. Hey, our guest is on in tonight. You're welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. So that's what this show is all about. Help you reinvent yourself, help you to become a better version of yourself. So I think it's going to be a wonderful time tonight. Let me put my sparking creativity. So invite family and friends so that they can also. I'll bring in our guests just right now, but let me put my pin there, and I'll bring in Mr. Emmanuel now, and at Emmanuel. Yep, got that. Excellent. Excellent. So, Mr. Emmanuel, if you just send an invite, let me just bring you in straight on. Let's just go for it. Our guest is in. Mr. Emmanuel, if you send an invite, we can just go. Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, it's going to be a wonderful time tonight. Hey!
How are you?
I'm very fine, Mr. Emmanuel himself. How are you doing today?
I'm so blessed. What a great honor speaking to you.
Well, we thank God. You could see this is what the internet is availing all of us to break barriers, and to be able to make new connections and new frontiers. Because actually, there is no limitation, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm quite excited.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm a bit nervous.
No, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be nervous.
I'm a bit nervous, but also my humble apology for taking time to respond to you.
No. I know you are very busy.
Yeah, no, but thank you so much for the invite.
I know. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have on our show tonight, Mr. Emmanuel Bonoko is an entrepreneur. He is a community builder. He is a social entrepreneur. He is concerned with social enterprise. He's developing community, building people in his community, making impact in his community. And for your information, I know you have seen in my teaser, is among Forbes Africa's 30 under 30. People under 30 making impact, change makers as it were. And again, this year is among the 40 under 40 of those who are also business people making impact. Wow, what a great privilege it is to have you on our show tonight. So let's go for it. Who is Mr. Emmanuel Bonoko?
And you know what? One thing I appreciate and love about you is that you are able to pronounce my surname very well.
Ah,
Most people,
interesting.
most people they don't get it.
Wow.
Yeah, but Emmanuel Bunoko, I'm just a dreamer. I'm just a dreamer.
Wow.
A young man driven by, a purpose, to make an impact.
Okay.
A higher calling beyond myself. Every day when I pray, I always say, God, use me as a vessel, to touch lives, to educate people out there, to share my journey. So for me, I'll say I see a community change maker. That's me. That's what I stand for. Everything that I do, I make sure that I'm able to really touch lives.
Okay.
So yes, I'm the funding director of Ibunoko Holdings and Ibunoko Foundation.
Yeah.
But in South Africa, I'm more known as a social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because I've done so much in that space of social development. When I was only 18 and I was studying towards my degree in marketing.
Interesting.
Then after completing my degree, that's where I went to establish Ibunoko Holdings, which is a marketing agency, and we specialize in digital marketing, corporate PR, brand strategy, and even enterprise development. So
Interesting. Interesting.
And God has been great on my journey.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's wonderful that at a very tender age, and I like the way you started it. You said Bonoko is a dreamer.
Yes.
So, in other words, you are saying for all our audience who are watching this and who are going to rewatch this session, is that if they can just be a dreamer, they can also make the magic, isn't it?
Absolutely. So for me, the reason why I say I'm a dreamer, it's just beyond myself. And the more you become faithful in your calling where you are, and to allow God to use you, then He will bless you with an abundance. So for me, it's no longer about myself. Like every day, I always tell my team that I want to do so much for so many young people in South Africa. I want to create jobs. You know, and that's my motto every day. I want to really make an impact, and you know, that's my motivation every day. You know, I think I've been in a space where God was so good, you know, where from a tender age I was able to achieve, you know, quite a lot. But it's no longer about that. You know, I want to use my own story, my own journey to touch lives. You know, to educate people and to show possibilities that it's possible. You know, for you to do well and still, you know, make an impact out there. You know, so that's why I am.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So welcome Ingrid, welcome Proud Akoko Babe, all those who are joining us, welcome. We have our guests on the show. Now, you at a very tender age of 18, to start a foundation at 18. At 18, I'm just trying to think about when I was 18, I wasn't even thinking of making impact. How did that come about?
Good question, sir. You know, something that I've learned from my childhood, that it's sometimes okay to be different. You know,
Okay.
To be different is okay. And I had a problem like at school where I was that child who always very driven, very strong academically. You know, I mean, I was one of the top students from my high school. I had a couple of distinctions, and that's why I was able to get a scholarship. And eventually, when I went to, you know, study my degree in marketing, you know, there was so much that I was learning, you know, and I could not just comfort and be, you know, be in a space where I'm just doing things for the sake of doing them. And I think that beyond that, my struggles, where I come from, you know, I mean, I was raised by a single parent.
Single parent.
My mom was a domestic worker. So seeing her struggle every day, you know, it was a motivation for me. My background, it was a motivation for me, you know, to do more. And you know, one person said, you know, pain, you know, can position you, to discover your purpose. So for me, just to see my mom struggling, and she was not earning much, you know, but she did her best. And then my background, you know, was just a bit of a motivation to really, you know, work hard, really be diligent, really, you know, just pursue and also come back and really empower my community. And so I would say my background really had such a great influence to be the man that I am today. And my background.
The background.
Mom,
so
it was not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Now it's and I could, you know, look at it that saying that having a single mom raising you and she just a housekeeper, you'll be wondering how much she's getting to be able to, you know, provide all that. But you see, you're able to learn. Not everybody do learn from what is happening to them. You know, not some would just take it as a normal thing. But God helped you to look at that and to use it as a means of leapfrogging into how can I be a solution provider to other people. Not sitting down like some people would have sat down and begin to have a pity party to say, see, my mom is a single mom, you know, bothering, look at this, is the government that is not doing that. So that, but why was it that you were not even seeing the government, you're not seeing other people, you're not trying to, why? How did that come about?
I had to take responsibility.
You have to take responsibility.
And, you know, most of the young people that we have today, they don't want to take full responsibility. And that's something that also I'm teaching my younger brother, that be responsible. You know, I had so many reasons, obviously, to blame my background, to blame my government. But at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't help me, doesn't add any value. So I had to be responsible. I had to be intentional. And I see so many people till today, they want to succeed, they want to do well, but they're not intentional, you know, because intentions is about your attitude, intentions about your thinking, intentions about your heart, and intention also is about, you know, being very action driven, you know, and that also goes to faith, you know, that, you know, faith without work is dead. So I was very intentional, and I think till today, most of the young people, they're not intentional about their goals, about their dreams. And for me, till today, what I do, I put in
Intentions.
And with an expected outcome. That, you know, as you pursue, these are possibilities. And, you know, because of my intention were right, because of I took full responsibility that I'm going to do my part, the rest I'm going to give it to God.
Yeah.
And that on its own has really positioned me to be where I am.
Yeah,
You know, so having intentions, it goes a long way. And you're intentional about the kind of friends that we have, the kind of conversation that we have, your mind also, you know, your heart, everything, it goes a long way.
A long way, okay.
Yeah, so I was very intentional and I had to, you know, own up and take
full responsibility. And I think you got it there spot on there about the issue of attitude. Someone said attitude, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. The vehicle cannot go anywhere. So if you have a bad attitude, there's nothing, you cannot go anywhere. And I think that is what on this show we are trying to say, that no matter your position or circumstance, you need to change your belief system to be able to move to the next level, because beliefs, take it or believe it, are like chains that are holding us down, are not helping us to go to the next level, to do the things that we cannot. Like I was saying with some people about 2 days ago, I said, human beings, we are like elastic rubber. We are like elastic rubber. When you see the elastic rubber, you say, well, it's just an elastic rubber, cannot do anything. But by the time you put the elastic rubber and you stretch it, it stretches, and can actually encapsulate a bigger space. And that, I think, is what each and every one of us should get to, that point, a breaking point in which you say, I can do this, irrespective of what the institutional or physical toga that is put upon us. Excellent. Wow. Yes. Now, it's very interesting that for you as a person, starting a foundation, and the foundation, for every other person, you know, at least most of the people, they start a business, and from a business, they go back to do a foundation. But for you, it was the foundation coming out to do the business. So how has that helped you in your story as a social, that make you a social entrepreneur?
Yes. So yes, I just start with the foundation first.
Okay.
And I'm grateful to God, you know, because of you know, it's always good to embrace your own journey. Our journey will never be the same.
Yeah.
And that's something I always, you know, engage, you know, young people on, that as much as you might see all these people on media, you know, even social media, speaking about their business and what they do, but don't be like them. You know, just embrace your own path, embrace your own journey. And for me, in South Africa, I was quite mocked a lot. You know, that why are you starting a foundation when you look broke yourself? That's what they told me. I'll never forget it. That's what they told me. You know, I'm very quite well known as a businessman, and quite respected in South Africa. He said, Emmanuel, you look broke yourself.
You look broke.
And so many times, you know, when I go to these events, I was young, I was a child, you know, I mean, 80, you were still finding clarity. And I still talk about the foundation. But you know what? I'm grateful to God that the foundation, it was a stepping stone for greater things.
Wow.
You know, the foundation has really launched me to be the man that I am. And the foundation, I think that's where my character as a young man was tested.
Yeah.
You know, my foundation, that's why I discovered so much about myself as a young person. My foundation exposed me, you know, to corporate SA. My foundation has made me even to meet and work with the current president of South Africa.
The current president, Ramaphosa. Interesting. Ouch.
Why are you mentoring young people? Why are you giving books? Why are you hosting this? But remember also, I never went for a corporate, you know. So every time when I get corporate offers, you know, I will decline them. I mean, one of the biggest banks, private banks in South Africa, they gave me an offer and I declined.
To do what? What was the offer to do? The offer to do what?
To come and work for them.
Oh, come and work for them. Wow.
Yes, yeah. So Investec, which is one of the biggest private banks And I was not making money, but I got so much exposure. I met incredible people. I built such incredible networks. And when I went to establish Economic Holdings, the marketing agency, it was easy for me to build clientele. It was easy for me to even get more exposure. And it was because of the work that was done under my foundation.
Under your foundation.
So that was the process, and most of young people today, we don't want to go through the process. I had to go through the process. I had to embrace the failures. I had to even ask myself, do you really want to do this? Because it takes time.
Yeah.
Do well.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to build your business on, credibility, on integrity. So many things, took place through my foundation. I had so many offers, but they were not good offers. That they had to question my beliefs, my principle as a young man, and that everything took place through my foundation. And so I'm grateful. So what I'm saying is that it's always key to embrace your own journey.
Yeah.
Some people that can go and work within corporate and learn, build networks, and venture out to start businesses. Some people they have to go to school, get qualifications before can start business. Some they don't have to. So it's a matter of embracing your own journey. So I'll forever be grateful for my
for that foundation. Right, interesting. So the foundation helped you to build social capital, as it were. People get to know you, and I was watching your first interview today. It was quite very surreal, looking at how carrying those books into the school. Somebody was asking a question. He says, "What were the challenges based on objectives of your foundation?" Now, as the foundation in which you started, what were the challenges of that foundation that you went through that you were able to scale over?
As I've mentioned, like so many times, I was told that I don't amount to anything. And there's one code that my mentor taught me, and that code, it had such a great impact in my life. She said, never assume that somebody's not important based where they are today, because you don't know where they might be tomorrow. And for me, that code is everything about myself, about my journey, about my business. So many people never saw something significant that will emerge out of my foundation. People looking at my background, people looking that I don't have so much experience. So there were so many struggles. I mean, obviously I had to go and find, partnership. I had to go and find endorsement. I was undermined for the longest time, but that was part of the journey. And it's always good for us, when we get such platforms, we're able to be so authentic about our struggles, about where we come from, about our failures, that people that don't only admire who we are today. So my foundation, for people to believe in me, for people to see my vision, and even at home, my late mom, she couldn't understand what I was doing. She said, you're very smart, you're educated, go and find a job. And I was so stubborn that I will never get a job. I'm going to build my own empire. And I remember there was a time they had family gathering where my granny, she had to travel all the way. There's another province in South Africa. She had to come and speak to me because they thought mentally I've lost
you just lost. You have lost it.
Yeah, they said mentally I've lost it because I'm doing something out of the norm. In South Africa, when you have acquired formal education training, they expect you to go and find a job. And there was, as a young man, I was like, no, I'm going to build a company. I'm going to create jobs. So many times I was criticized. So many times I was undermined. But also, I spent time seeking validation. I spent time seeking approval. And I think that's where normally we get it wrong. Seeking people to validate your offer in the market, seeking approval. So there was a time where I was fed up, going around and seeking validation. I had to believe in what I had. And eventually, God was faithful enough to bring the right people. One person said, where God leads, He always provides.
Excellent.
Sorry about that. And for me, that was my journey.
Excellent. So it's just so wonderful that like rightly mentioned, that people oftentimes don't see the future. They think you are wasting time. They think, but when you have seen, because for you as a person, to be creative, like this show is about sparking creativity. For you to be creative, you have already seen yourself in the future. You must be good with imagination. You've seen that in a time will come, I will have my own company, I will employ my own staff, I will be able to do things, even though I don't look like that now. And I think for all our guests looking, you need to, for our guest, somebody said it's from Botswana, someone said, Mr. Bonoko, what a legend. Well, that is what he said, Mr. Bonoko, what a legend. Well, so there's a process in which everybody go through, but you must believe in yourself, which is the story you are trying to tell us. But you see, at the point in which you said you were looking for validation, now you came in contact with some people that still helped you. And and thank you for mentioning, in trying to prepare for this discussion, I've also begun to follow Mr. Bonang Mohale, and I see and I just listening to what him speak, I said, "Oh, this is a different person." So how did you meet Mr. Mohale, and how has that brought you to be who you are now?
Yeah, Mr. Wali, can you see I'm smiling again? Bonham, he's a blessing.
Yeah.
He's one of the respected corporate leaders in South Africa.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Mm.
He has done it all. But for me, meeting him, that's where I had to also do an introspection about myself. That's why in business. What do you want to be known for? And my life holistically changed. He taught me so much about business, about humility, about self-respect, about always longing to learn and being teachable. Because sometimes I think when you have achieved quite a lot, we think we know it all, especially young people in South Africa. So meeting Bona Mohale was such a blessing, and he has done so much for me. In my language, means that you are who you are because of the next person. There's nobody you call a self-made. And meeting him, I was still very young. I remember, I sent him an email, and he was not responding. And I took a taxi, a public transport. I was still studying. I went to his office in Branston. And first time when I met with him, he was not interested. Because I think I was a bit nervous and my vision was not well defined.
It was not articulated. Yeah.
Yes. And the second time I had to knock because I just love what he stood for, and he's so real, he's so authentic, and I saw myself in him. Sometimes as young people, as leaders, you want to relate, you want to connect with someone else, regardless of what they've achieved. And when I met with him, I saw a father in him, I saw a leader, I saw a brother, and he's one of the most humblest people that I ever met. Then he was the Group CEO of Shell South Africa. He's quite respected globally, and he has really helped me, to be honest. And I remember one day when I went to his office, he just asked me, "How much do you want from me?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "How much do you want from me? How can we invest on you?" And he said, I've seen your heart, I've seen what you stand for, I've seen what you're all about. I know for sure if we invest on you, you're going to invest on other young people.
Interesting.
You're going to help other young people to grow. So I trust you. I don't even have to go through your proposal. And he really opened doors for me. He saw the hunger in me. But above all, I think he saw the vision that I had as a young man. That, as he empowered me, also I'm mandated to go back and empower other young people. And that's what I stand for till today, that I'm in business, to make an impact. And, I was speaking to a good friend of mine, he always said the business, the bottom line of business has evolved. It's no longer about profit, but it's about impact before profit. And you make And that's what Mr. Mohale has taught me. And I believe that I am who I am because of people like him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I was very touched when I was listening to one of his latest book about the bringing people hope, and about the story he told in the interview of employing that struck me, employing his driver to become the IT person in a very huge organization. It means he can see beyond. He doesn't look at, because and that goes to what you said earlier, that don't never assume that where somebody is today is where that person will be. The person can actually rise. So the fact that that person was a driver driving the CEO of the company, he saw more than that, because he has had a conversation. And I think that's in one of the skills which I could see in Mr. Mohale is not to be able to pick up something in you, even you might not even see it, and and make it a finance and push you into what you want to be. So now tell us, how have you also been able to replicate this in your business in South Africa?
You know what? I'm grateful to God. I've done so much, and I'm still doing that. To really, give young people a platform. I mentor. I'm big in mentorship, and I think those are some of the principles that Mr. Mohale has really instilled in me as a young man. That as much as you grow and you do well, don't forget to really empower others. Don't forget to share your knowledge. Some people, they are very selfish also in terms of information. And for me, especially this year, the more I share, the more I get more abundance. I mean, even during COVID-19, I can say that I'm not complaining. Actually, even of Holdings has been doing extremely well. I'm getting good projects. And it's like God has really tested me that as much as I empower you, I know for sure you're gonna grow and empower so many young people. So you'll never do it alone. And I think sometimes we try to sound too smart and too complicated when people, they need information that how did you do it. We're trying to sound as if there's something special about us. And for me, there's nothing special about me. As much as I went to school to obtain my degree, but I'm not afraid to say to be who I am. As much as I work hard, so many people had to give me a
contribute.
So many people had to believe in me. So many people had to speak about me in boardrooms. And Bonham Mohale was one of those people that till today they still speak so highly of me. Till today I still get emails and calls from other influential CEOs. So I think those are some of the basic principles that we need to always share. That you need someone to hold your hand.
To hold your hand.
And be very honest about our journey, because that's something that's been in my heart, that as much as we grow, and I study people quite a lot, especially through the work that I do as a marketer, that only few people are honest about their journey, are honest about their struggles, are honest about where they come from. And we're in a space or in a crisis where most people or emerging entrepreneurs, they need people like us that have walked the path, that are still striving to really share our journey and be honest. So Bonham Mohale really changed my mind in terms of how I view business. That also the pie is big enough for all of us.
All of us.
For all of us, to do well. There's room for all of us to do well, and that's something I really encourage quite a lot. And even on my platform, people, they know I share people that are doing well. I share their success stories. I promote other people beyond my profession. It's just in me that it doesn't take anything away from me. I'm not even losing anything for me to promote someone, for me to recommend someone, for me to plug someone. And the more I do so, the more also God open doors for you. So
Interesting.
that's what Bonham taught me. Just to be about the human touch, be about people.
The human
and,
touch.
I respect him for that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, it's you. All your interviews I've listened to, and one word keep coming back. One word keep coming back, and you mentioned also the fact that Mohali Bohan also mentioned is this issue of is this issue for some is the issue for of being teachable.
Yeah.
When in all your interviews, or they ask you say, "Well, I've learned to be teachable." Now the question is that when you say teachable, it's so broad. What are the specifics? What are the things? So that for some of our audience can say, okay, when somebody says you need to be teachable, what are the things that the person needs to say, okay, I need to be teachable, I need to bend down to go and learn this, learn that. What are the things that one needs to learn when you say you need to be teachable?
Teachability for me, it was more about being able to serve.
Okay, service. Okay.
Saving is of key. And for the longest time, I had to serve so many people.
Okay.
And through saving, that's where you learn.
Okay.
That's where also you discover so much about yourself and what you can do. And we have so many young people today that want to serve. They're not willing to really put in some work. And that's why then I always emphasize that, beyond your qualifications, you still need to work on your character, on your personality, on your skills. Those are quite key. And teachability, is all about being able to put in the work. I'm one person, I love what I do, and I really, really put in work. And it's a sad reality also in South Africa. We have, high rate of unemployment, and there's so many, so many of us SMEs, business owners. We want to create jobs for so many young people, but sometimes I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Why?
I even shared a video last week saying that I'm looking to employ 2 young people to be part of my team, and these are young people that also want to be paid. But through some of the experience that I had, young people are not willing to serve. Young people are not willing to put in some work. You find young people that come in a space, they want to compete with you, forgetting that Emmanuel, he has paid his dues. Emmanuel has really, he was able to sacrifice, he was able to
a lot of things.
really put, hard work in place. And it took so much time for me to be where I am. It took so much, hard work. It took so much, knowing myself. It took so much of, saving others. So what I'm saying is that, we have so many young people that are not willing to serve. And for me, that's a problem. So I had to be very teachable. I had to serve from other people. I had to learn to ask for help. That's one component of being teachable. Because people, again, they want to succeed, but they have pride, they have ego. And if you have pride and ego, you'll never do well. And I'm one person till today, I'm not afraid to ask for help. Regardless of what I've done over the years, if I need clarity, if I need understanding, if I need a referral, I call my mentors, I call my friends, and people that are always willing to support. So those are some of the components that makes one to be teachable. So you need to serve, is quite key. You need to really and also invest on yourself. I always say before you seek investment elsewhere, you need to learn to invest on yourself. So for the longest time, I had to invest on myself beyond my education by learning from others, by asking questions, and not always making things about money. As much as make money, but it can't always be about money. So I think those are some of the components that young people so today they need to learn.
Interesting. Wow. Now on this show we it's about sparking creativity in the times of crisis and beyond COVID, COVID. And I think because the show started during this period, that's why it seems to be during crisis, and that's how the issue. Now, for you as a person, how would you define creativity?
What a difficult question. Creativity. Okay, for me, I'll say creativity is all about being yourself.
Okay.
I think the world out there is looking for people
Okay.
The world out there is looking for people that are really authentic. They
Okay.
know what they stand for. They know that who you are and what you're all about. And for me, that's creativity. Creativity is not just being the smartest or being always on top of your game. But if you remain core to yourself and who you are, for me, on its own is creativity. Creativity also is all about collaboration.
Okay.
That how do we embrace collaborations? How do we work, with people that are in the same business like ourselves? I mean, I've been getting a number of contracts this year, from big agencies in South Africa, and they know very well that we are in the same industry, but we had to find possible collaborations, to achieve a common goal or something that is beyond ourselves. So for me, I would say creativity is all about being true to yourself. That's what the world is looking for.
Yeah.
And one person said, Emmanuel, every person is born with. I'm trying to remember what she said, and I found that so profound. He said, someone like every person is born with diamond.
Yeah.
Something valuable like a gold. And she said, your diamond is humility. And she said some people, they empower you not based on how good you are within the marketing industry. Some people, they empower you based on the humility that you have.
Wow.
Or and I find that so
wow.
deep.
Wow.
That it's beyond what I do. People, they are looking at small things. People, I've witnessed that. Sometimes I'll go in the boardroom and I'll try to pitch and they don't get me. But I end up getting the deal. I think there was something that people, they just liked about it.
Yeah.
So many times I'm always pitching big, corporates, brands, and sometimes obviously you prepare, but when you get there, you can tell that these people, they don't even get my vibe at all. And eventually they'll send an email that, okay, can we have a follow-up meeting? We want to work with you. So meaning that every person is born with something special, and you mentioned that. And she said there's something about you, man, your humility is going to open so many doors. And for me, that is really inspiring.
An eye-opener.
I'll tell you the exact word. I forgot what she said, but she said something in those lines. That every person is born with that thing, that you need to embrace it, and people will empower you based on that. It's beyond our qualification. It's beyond, what we do. That's something.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So it means the point, ladies and gentlemen, the point Mr. Noah is saying is that everyone has a particular nature or skill set or heaven given, whatever you can call it, that is unique to you, a gifting, a talent, as it were, or whatever you want to call it, which would, it's more than your certificate. It's more than the fact that, I have a BSc or I have a PhD or I have something, and that is what people needs to open to. Even when you, like you rightly mentioned, that when you make the pitch in the boardroom, they don't say, well, he's not getting it, but they can still read beyond who you. They can see into you.
Absolutely.
And that's more of the reason why the big organizations can even call you and still give you a deal, because when you make the money, you will not rub it on them. You will not begin to, So humility is key in anything we want to achieve in life.
Absolutely.
Humility is key. So, ladies and gentlemen, the key thing for us in sparking creativity and reinventing ourselves, humility is a sine qua non. It's just there. It must be there, in which you must be able to humble yourself, whatever you think you know, because it will elevate. Even the Bible says it. When you humble yourself, God elevates, and people will also elevate. It's very, very interesting. Wow. Now, I would like to go on to some of your projects, some of the things you've done, and just to try and help our audience to see that perhaps some people are also thinking, okay, I want to make impact, and I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to discover what I want to do. How do I make impact? Maybe tell us through some of your projects like this back to Kasi and all those things, and how does that work about, and how did that come about?
The Betukasi show, that was one of our first projects.
Okay.
That we started when I was still studying. I was still at university, and I can see my business partner. She's online. She's in the US.
Wow.
Her name is Mamelo. And hi, moms. I can see she's online.
Okay.
Quite an amazing lady. I met with this lady when we were still studying, and we met at an intern cafe. And I just liked her vibe. We started to speak about God, and we have done incredibly well in South
Interesting.
Africa. She was still young also. She was still studying at University of Johannesburg, and also still studying at the University of South Africa. And we're just young people, I'm fired up to do more. And we saw that, within the South African township, so many young people are unemployed, and also we don't have we don't have jobs, but how do we now, educate young people to, come up with movements, to come up with initiative, to start something.
Yeah.
Just start where you are. You don't know in years to come where you might be. So it was more of an enterprise development initiative.
Okay.
Where we're just going across South Africa to, educate young people to start businesses, but also we're able to, partner with a number of private and government sectors in South Africa, to go and assist young people. So that Betukas movement was quite huge in all the provinces in South Africa, but mainly the townships. Okay. So Kasi meaning township,
Okay.
Kasi meaning township, typical township.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll host this movement, and we'll bring all these influential business leaders, to come and mentor, to come and inspire, to come and invest. So people like Dr. Bonamo Hali, as you spoke about him, he was one of those leaders that really believed in the movement of what we're doing. And they were able to adopt some of the entrepreneurs, they were able to sort of incubate them, to get access to funding, access to market, how do you brand yourself, how do you make yourself, to be in demand in terms of your service offering. So the Betukasi was just all about enterprise development, not black young people to start initiative, young people to start businesses. And and the impact is still there, and so today, those are some of the projects that were very close to my heart, because of we have developed a number of entrepreneurs, which for me, I take pride, and I think that's how I measure my success, that I've done my part, to advance, the youth of South Africa. And then also to encourage them to have a strong mind. You spoke about, you asked me that coming from a disadvantaged background, raised by a single parent, where did I get the stamina to keep going? I had to develop a strong mind.
Strong mind.
To think to myself, as a young person, I had to have strong conversation with myself, every day that I can do this. And so sad because people say, how do you empower people when you're not empowered yourself?
Yeah.
People are like, you don't look empowered, but how can you empower people? That's why I said our journey will never be the same, and God was faithful enough to, to allow people to come and support me. I mean, I got support even from some of the ministers in South Africa.
Interesting.
I was able to work with some of the ministers, and that's where also our current president Ramaphosa. I had a partnership with his foundation. So the Betukasi, it was all about enterprise development.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now and as we're talking, I'm just thinking and to see particularly how we can be as people of African descent. What do you will be the solution? Now, if you look at the population in South Africa of youths, Africa generally, the Africa is a pretty much youth, maybe 60% or even maybe 65%, and most of all these people are not employed, and like you rightly mentioned, unfortunately, because of how our parents have been, they think when you go to school, just go and get a job. that's the way they've known. So, and there's no job, and the universities are churning out every year by year. Now, this is something I've been grappling with to say, what is the solution?
Yeah, it's a crisis. It's quite a big issue. One friend of mine, he's based in Kenya, and they have a university in Kenya where they create a conducive environment for young people to start businesses.
Okay.
Where you have access to internet, and which is still a big issue in South Africa. They help you to formalize your company. They help you to get access to branding, to have your website, your online presence. They just create this environment for young people to try new things. And I think also in South Africa, young people are not allowed to fail. As a young person, you are not afforded to fail or to make a mistake. If you fail or you lose that opportunity, then it's done with you. So meaning that we don't create an environment where we allow young people to make mistakes.
Yeah.
We allow young people to think creatively. We allow young people to tap into their own talents, into their own gifts. Coming from a township myself, I've met some of my friends that were not academically strong, but they were so talented. Some they speak incredibly well, and some they are good, they can sing, and that's a craft that you can later on monetize it. Some of the richest, people in the world, at the least we got, artists, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Even in Nigeria, I think some of the artists in Nigeria, they are doing incredibly well. They build very solid brands, and they are able to monetize it. So I think it's about time that we allow an African child to make mistakes. We give them this conducive environment to try new things, to come with new ideas. And by doing so, I think, we can progress and do better. And I look at myself also, so many times, until today, I'm still asked that, what do you do? When I go back home, I need to explain that I'm a business owner, but they don't get it.
They don't know what's the business owner.
Are you selling something? Are you selling bread? Are you selling milk? And, it's always difficult for me to explain what I do, but you can tell these people they're not welcoming. They still ask me that, okay, after 6 years, are you going to go and, become a lawyer? Are you still a lawyer? Well, we are going to become a lawyer. I'm so into what I am. I love what I do. I love changing lives. So what I'm saying is that it's about time that we create an environment, for young people to come with ideas, for young people to collaborate, for young people to really make mistakes. And even our universities in South Africa, they don't train students, they only just give you knowledge-based, that after then you will see yourself. So for me, I try by all means, to really, encourage, young people, but as much as even you go and look for a job, but think out of the box. How do you create streams of income for yourself? Because looking at the economy that we're in, one stream of income is not enough.
It's not enough.
So over the years, and I can see some of my mentees, they're here online, some of my friends, I always tell them that, guys, think out of the box. Yes, you're working. Yes, you are earning income. But what else can you do? Every person is born with that gift that you need to tap into and utilize it for the good, to encourage others, to educate others, make an impact. But in return, also you are able to make, even create wealth.
Excellent.
Yes, that's my take.
Wow. It's 1 hour. Can you believe it's almost 1 hour? Wow. And we're just still unpacking. But you see,
we can still make the second session.
You need to come back. You need to come back on this show because it's. I was supposed to now. Part of the birth of this show, this show started during the lockdown, was that I was planning to do a youth conference in Botswana. I have some mentees, that are my students who are from Botswana, and I was trying to come to Botswana to do a conference, an empowerment youth conference, giving skills to people and everything. But coronavirus came up, and I said, okay, what do? We can also still be doing this online to create and see how I've now met you, and which is increased. So by the time we are going to begin doing this project, we'll be able to increase our reach and make more impact. And I think critically, you made a point there about our universities in Africa. Universities in Africa just teaching people, not teaching them how to be critical in their thinking.
Absolutely.
Using the words of Professor Lumumba, I hope I got him right, professor in Kenya, that says that our engineers in Africa are just engineers. They don't know how to make bridges. They know how to make roads. We have to still bring people all the way from China to come and see do. So what are they learning? And that goes across in all the spheres of all the things that are being taught. And I think that there are things we can do. And I like the word you mentioned about collaboration. So I believe strongly that we are going to do something. For myself, I'm an academic, I'm a researcher, and I'm in the educational space. I'm passionate about the fact of bringing change to the. I mentor some PhD students. I still mentor students across. I have a YouTube channel where I've done recordings for PhDs, helping them in that particular space. But I'm still passionate about how do we bring change to our continent of Africa. And I think we'll be able to see what we can do. So thank you so. I know you are very busy. Looking at your profile, even on Instagram, I see a lot of time you are working there and there. And you were in Nigeria for the conference. I saw that you were in Nigeria for the conference. Yay!
I love Nigeria.
Wow.
And the plan was to go back this year. I had such a plan because also I'll be launching my book soon.
Okay.
But when I went to Nigeria, beautiful people, the most welcoming people. I enjoyed myself in Nigeria. It was an incredible, amazing experience.
Wow.
So I was booked to come and speak about the role of media and advertising in Africa. That's how the world is evolving and how should we build our online brand. And I met incredible people. So the plan was to go back this year, and even Kenya, Tanzania. I already had scheduled to travel across Africa. Then COVID, But I'm very, very optimistic that maybe this year, early next year, I'll still get the opportunity to go back and do some work aside. And I saw so many opportunities. I got friends in Nigeria now. Even my books will be launched in Nigeria. So
interesting.
It was such a beautiful experience. I really had fun.
Interesting. So thank you so, Mr. Emmanuel. It's been wonderful. This show has just been wow. What a wonderful time we've had. We have not even been able to impact. We've only asked you 2 questions or 3 questions, and time is up. So we'll bring you back again. Thank you so much for your time.
So we can plan with monthly.
Okay.
Monthly can come with topics, and also I can prepare from my side.
Okay.
And also I can help in terms of to market it on all of my social media.
All right.
So we can get engagement. But I'm really, really grateful.
Thank you so much.
So you are all the way in the US, right?
I'm in the UK.
UK.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
Definitely, I'll be in touch. Let's plan the next one.
All right. Thank you. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's Mr. Emmanuel Bonoko. It was a wonderful time. We'll see you again in our guest on Friday. We have Oli Malam coming up on Friday. We'll have Oli Malam. It will be live here and direct on Friday. So see you on Friday, where we'll spark creativity in you. Thank you and bye.